Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today. We have the bulls buying the dip yet again, a lack of bear follow through overnight, which highlights the importance of the dollar rejection from resistance yesterday. And we have an equilibrium forming on our futures chart. Let's check it out.
Introducing the Chart Guy's Swing Report, a weekly digital publication that uses technical analysis to identify long-term market opportunities. Understand the market from a swing trade perspective. Follow institutional money as it rotates from sector to sector, and make the most of the Swing Report's weekly trade opportunities, with key entry and exit levels provided. Performance is tracked and updated weekly. For more information, visit us at chartguys.com. Now, let's check out some charts.
So here's the SPY daily time frame. Bulls recovering all the way back over the high of yesterday, closing with a big upper wick. If I look at this daily time frame, I don't have a ton of clarity, but if I look at the S&P 500 futures chart and I find the time frame that is most clear for me, which is the 6 hour, I've got a nice equilibrium shaping up. Always after volatility, if you have a big drop and a big bounce, find the time frame where you've got the equilibrium. We were up here, and midday today I said keeping an eye out for this lower high compared to where we came from yesterday, and a nice pullback, and now we're going to be scouting the higher low. Anything above 37.12 is a higher low. This bounce overall favors the bulls. How can we say that? Obviously, visually, it's just a big bounce, but fib retracements. Look at where we topped out and where we bounced off of, and the size of that retracement is 75%. So again, if we're looking at 50% or greater, that's when we start to favor an equilibrium. If we're looking at 38.2 or less, that's when we're looking at a bear flag. So obviously going all the way up to the 70 plus beyond range, we are favoring an equilibrium. So we are looking at this candle to close in 27 minutes, and if we pull back any more overnight tonight, we will scout that higher low. Pretty big drop here right now. Just another leg down, that weakness into the end of the day. It was just bulls eventually rolling over. Bull break with a lack of follow through, loss of support, bears controlling the rest of the day. Pretty decent drop here right now after hours. 5-minute RSI getting crushed. So we'll look for that higher low to form, and then we'll look for a lower high to form, and that's probably going to tighten up tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, yeah? So we've got Monday, probably looking into early next week for when we're going to get a break here, unless, of course, we see increasing bear volume overnight. But again, V-shaped bounce, scouting an hourly higher low. This is where we look for the tightening range. IWM, daily chart, inside bar. So just bounce, but tightening up. Didn't get back to the high of yesterday. If we take off extended hours for a bit of clarity, we have the low of the dump, high of a bounce, and just tightening up, heading down towards support. So could see more downside. This bounce is much less impressive than the S&P 500 itself. QQQ, daily chart, big bounce, double top at the high of yesterday, only breaking resistance by about 15 cents. And again, it's now up to the bulls. Can they form an hourly higher low compared to the low of where we came from? And then they have to confirm an hourly trend change, which would be that 6 hour breaking bullish, if we're going to say that the bulls are back in the driver's seat and back in complete control. XLF bouncing right off the weekly EMA 12 support, the daily time frame, big bounce follow through, but have we changed the hourly trend during regular trading hours? And the answer is no. We just opened higher, set the top of the bounce. So again, just like everybody else, have to confirm an hourly trend change, ideally during regular trading hours when there's real volume at play, if we're going to be looking at follow through on this bounce. XLV, significant bounce. Looks a lot like SPY. So again, pulling back, hourly higher low trying to form. Can we confirm an hourly trend change? And that would give the bulls full control again. Biotech sector. So an inside bar here. Bears would have to see a break of this double low at 148.81. And that's possible. This is a 4 hour little head and shoulders perhaps. This would be the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder forming here. So the inside bars are a lot less confident than the names that bounced significantly enough to break the high of yesterday. And again, those names so far are SPY did it, and QQQ almost did it there. XLV did it. SMH had a big red day on big bear volume yesterday. Not much of a bounce. Well, actually, we did break the high of yesterday. Didn't think we got up to that level. Not seeing the weakness after hours that we're seeing in other places. And need the confirmed hourly trend change. But on a name like SMH, again, the size of the pullback on the daily is so significant that even if we do change the hourly trend, we are just scouting a daily lower high compared to 246.79. So there's a lot of space for that daily lower high to form. Solar sector. So trying to find a little temporary bottom. Same thing here. If we get a bounce, I would just be scouting a daily lower high, anything under 125.98. And that's because that's 10% from where we stand, even with the green day today. Everybody has to confirm an hourly trend change. And it actually looks like I would consider that TAN did it here with the bounce this morning, low of today, setting a higher low, and then breaking the high of the day into the close. Definitely notable and stands out for that reason. We don't have that on other names that we're seeing weakness into the close. The MSOS here, ETF for the USMJ space, solid bounce, daily inside bar as well. Again, I added some yesterday, and I will potentially keep doing so, perhaps on an hourly high or low next time we consolidate. And the VIX, strong close yesterday, no follow through. And again, in hindsight, now I'm going to be continuing to pay very close attention to the dollar because the bears had so many check marks that they need yesterday, and that dollar was one that was missing, and here we are not getting that bear follow through. So that dollar rejection, very important. Unable to break 90.95 resistance inside bar today. And we have to break that level for the bulls to prove it. Still possible to happen, absolutely. We would need this 4 hour to recover. We can see we're in a 4 hour tightening range now. So it is still in play, which again would be, in my opinion, if the dollar is going to break bullish, it would coincide with the S&P 500 tightening 6 hour equilibrium, breaking bearish, which is a possibility. And again, for me, that is a very notable thing if that happens. A tightening range breaking bearish after this much volatility means more to me than those flash dumps out of nowhere that, again, is the analogy is the sucker punch from the bears to the bulls, as opposed to the bears and the bulls having a scheduled fight, everybody's ready for it, and the bears win. That's what an equilibrium breaking bearish is on a longer term time frame with a very wide range. So that bear break would mean more to me than a flush dump out of nowhere. Gold. So we're seeing, again, Reddit and Wall Street bets. A ton more drama today. Twitter is just on fire with this. We've got celebrities and politicians are chiming in, and it's just this constant debate, and it's leading towards the winds of change. But what we have today is silver being impacted by all this because they are targeting the potential manipulation of paper silver, and they went after AG, which is a silver miner, and they ran that bad boy up. So silver, look at the comparison here. This is gold's day, where we closed lower than yesterday. And look at silver's day. Night and day difference. Silver closing at the highest price in 3 weeks. So we can clearly say that those Redditors and that retail is having an impact on silver. And the XAU XAG chart, which shows us who's stronger, gold or silver, confirmed a weekly bear flag today. And this was the biggest divergence between gold and silver's price that we've seen in at least a month. So it is very notable. And because of this, I shifted my portfolio weightings. I've got GLD, I've got SLV, and I ensured that my SLV position is bigger than my GLD position. So what we need from gold, we had a 4 hour bull move up, gave it all back. I need to see a daily trend change, a higher low and a higher high. So we've set our higher low now at 1831, and we need a bull break of 1875 to confirm the daily trend change. We came $11 away from that level today, and obviously silver very convincingly, on very convincing volume, confirmed the daily trend change, which confirms our weekly higher low, and a break of 27.93 would confirm the weekly trend change, which would then have us with some solid momentum looking for weekly continuation. Again, it's possible we set, or a monthly continuation, I should say. It's possible we set a monthly lower high and equilibrium here. But if that weekly trend changes, that increases that continuation narrative. Miners, we had our key daily support level in play, down at 33.25, higher open today. And just like everybody else, we need to confirm an hourly trend change. It was a significant move off the low, hourly higher low, hourly lower high, just an equilibrium forming on the hourly. And I believe we've got that going on the metals as well. Much weaker gold equilibrium, much stronger silver equilibrium, but tightening hourly ranges amongst all three of them. It's pretty much like stronger, the three bears. This one's stronger, this one's in the middle, and this one, gold, is weakest. Oil, bull break with no follow through. So again, we're still watching 51.44 very closely. Daily resistance of 53.83, rejecting the price. So all about 51.44 support from here. Natural gas, 4-hour time frame. Did we lose the uptrend? You can say we did, yes. So now we're watching for a daily higher low to form. Very little bear follow through. So not going to say that our daily higher low is set at this point, but a loss of the 4-hour uptrend with zero bear follow through, definitely something that the bulls enjoy seeing. So trading today, I did trade GME. I've been trading it a little bit, but today was my biggest win on GME. Why? Because it was an oversold bounce, and that is my edge. So I was watching it this morning first thing, and if you give me 5-minute oversold conditions right into the open with things real extended and a support level to be going off of, 249, I entered right before the bell rang in pre-market at 265 and then just scaled out into the strength. And I left money on the table, which I have zero regrets about. I scaled from 265 to 315-ish and then another one in the 350s. And I look at this and I could, again, what a newer trader will do is they will exit and they'll look at that and say, oh, I'm such an idiot. I left so much money on the table. I didn't nail the top. Meanwhile, an hour later, exiting at those levels was the best decision I could have made. So again, I don't expect to nail tops and bottoms. And if you're the kind of person, and I see it in newer traders, where you have to adapt, wrong word, you have to adopt the right mindset. Because if you are the kind of person that gets down on yourself and finds the negative in everything, every single trade that you make, you can find something wrong with it. And you can make money while sleeping with numbers flashing in cyberspace and still feel bad about it the next day because you didn't get the maximum amount, because you sold too soon or you didn't buy low enough or you should have bought more. You can always find a reason that you did something wrong. And you can flip that narrative in your brain to always find a reason, maybe not every time, but once you're experienced enough and you've learned all the really dumb mistakes, you can always find a reason that you did something right. So I made money on this bounce. I did something right. It was a week maker. It was great. Could have had a 2-week maker, absolutely. But again, no. Don't let your mindset, and that goes with everything in life. That's not just trading. You can always find the positive or the negative on the vast majority of situations, and how you psychologically respond to that has significant, long-lasting implications in many different ways. And I find in my experience that when you are focusing on the positive, it's a positive feedback loop. So I'm sure tomorrow will be some more volatility and some more opportunity. And what I'm going to be watching is the S&P 500 futures chart overnight tonight, the 6-hour time frame. Do we get an equilibrium? And we'll take it from there. Have a good rest of your day. Do good things. And we'll see you next week.